Hey y'all, it's Brittany from Enjoy the View Travel. Welcome to the channel. Let's cruise Enchanted Princess Edition, New England and Canada. Well, good morning. We decided that since today was an impromptu sea day, that we were going to be a little bit lazy this morning. And so we actually slept in and had some late breakfast. Didn't even take pictures of that. Just kind of spent a leisurely morning hanging out and not doing a whole much of anything. As you can see out the window, it is, this is what a nor'easter looks like. So super cloudy, raining, waves. Yes, you can feel the waves on the ship. We had some pretty good waves when we were on there, so you could feel it. You had to kind of pay attention to your balance. And, you know, Paul, balance is an issue for him sometimes. So he made sure that, you know, he walked a little bit slower than he normally would to really pay attention to his balance. He always made sure he was by a wall or he was, you know, standing with me so that, you know, should he lose his balance, he had something, you know, that he could grab onto. All in all, the nor'easter has not been so bad. It's really just been rainy and it's been windy. So, you know, those two combinations, you don't really go out on the deck of the ship. I went out on the balcony some, but not long. So this is kind of the view that we got from our room. So we're just kind of taking it easy today and hanging out and doing some things around the ship. While we didn't get breakfast, we did get some lunch pictures. And so we will go ahead and skip from this morning to lunchtime. Well, welcome to Alfredo's Pizzeria. This is one of the casual dining options that they have on the Enchanted Princess. So since we have Premier, we actually have unlimited. So we can go to the casual dining options as many times as we want. If you are on the Plus package, you have I believe you get 4 on the current Plus. I think you get 4 casual dining per person who is on Plus. And then if you are on standard fare and do not have Plus or Premier, then you would have an upcharge for this, and I believe it is still $14.99 or $95 per person. And so you get an appetizer, you get an entree, and then you get a dessert that is included with that. So this is what we got today. I'm showing you 2 appetizers and an entree. We had the salad, and then I had the minestrone soup, and it was really, really good. And, you know, with the nor'easter in and the weather that we're having, you know, it's a little bit cooler and damper because it's wet and it's rainy. And so soup hit the spot. It was really, really good. So I had that. And then this is the New Yorker pizza. They have several different pizzas that you can choose from, and there's also a specialty section of pizzas that you can choose from. And I think the last time we were on Enchanted, I don't think we had any of the specialty pizzas because I think we thought that those were an additional charge. And when I said something, she was like, "Oh no, those are included." And I was just like, "Oh." So we tried this one. This one's called the New Yorker, and it was good. I have not had a pizza from Alfredo's Pizzeria that was not good, just so you know. So it is all very, very good. So we had that. And for dessert, I think most of us had tiramisu, but I didn't take a picture of it. So I apologize for that. But this is what we had at Alfredo's. I do highly recommend Alfredo's. I think my mom would eat lunch there every day. She loves pizza. In fact, she says she could eat pizza every day. So I think we could go there every day for lunch and she would be a happy girl. However, we did want to try other places, while we were on the ship and not just go here for lunch. But, just so you know, if you have the Premier package, it is an option to eat here every day if you want. Now, I split this pizza with my dad, and Paul had their calzone, which he had last time, and it is so huge. I'm like, you're not going to eat it all, but, go for it. Of course, he didn't eat it all, but he did enjoy what he had. And then I can't remember what Mom had. I didn't take a picture of it, obviously. But anyway, we do eat there again later in the cruise, and I have some more pictures that I'll share with you then. But it's really, really good. I highly recommend it, especially if you love pizza. Now, it's not the only place to get pizza on the ship. They do have another place that you can get up on the Lido deck where you can get pizza, and it is included, so there is no extra charge for it. It is also very good pizza, but this is really good too. So highly recommend. All right, so let's talk about what today is, because today we were supposed to be in Rhode Island, and so now it's a sea day. Pretty much until we start headed into Boston. And so, originally Princess did not have a lot of things planned because this was not going to be a sea day. It was going to be a port day. So usually on port days, not as many things are planned around the ship. So Princess did a very good job of changing that up and adding in a lot of activities, whether it was trivia or game shows, things like that. They did a brilliant job with that. So plenty of things to do around the ship. We just kind of hung out. We really made it a leisurely day. It was very enjoyable. We played cards, things like that. And it was great. We didn't have a specific schedule that we needed to follow. And so sometimes on a cruise, you can get so into schedules that you forget to relax and have a good time. And then when you get home, you need a vacation from your vacation. So this was a great opportunity for us to take some time and just chill and relax before, we were going into the rest of the cruise. The cruise also took this time to do some extra cleaning, and I happened to be sitting here when they came up to clean these windows behind us, so I took a picture of him cleaning the windows. And they have to just go about their, this was supposed to be a port day, so they typically do this extra cleaning on the outside and everything on port days so that it's not interfering with, cruise passengers who are coming and going and whatnot. So they still needed to keep with their schedule of that. And so since this was originally going to be a port day, he's doing what was on his list to do, which was to clean these windows. So we got to watch him clean the windows for a little bit, and he moved on down to the next set of windows. And, we just kind of, it did not rain, at all the time today. So we were able to head out on the deck every now and then. And coming up later, when we start getting closer into Boston, so that's where we're headed to stay overnight, is in Boston. We will get some more outside pictures. And of course, this is really the prequel to the nor'easter. So, we had rain, we had wind, and we have waves, but they will all increase as the nor'easter gets to us. This is really before it got to us. So the calm, I don't want to say the calm before the storm, but kind of the calm before the storm. And so this picture over here to the left that you see, that is actually a pilot boat that I got a picture of as we were getting closer to Boston. I don't think it was, well, this might have brought our pilot to us, but there's another pilot boat as we get closer. But I don't think he picked up anybody, so I'm not really sure when we had 2 pilot boats, but I did get a picture of both. So you'll see the other one later in this episode. But we are continuing to have a leisure time, and as we get closer to Boston, we're going to start seeing some significant sights, and we'll share those with you. Do you see it? Do you see what I see? We have made it to our first lighthouse. Oh my goodness. I have no idea where it's at, but we weren't quite to Boston yet. But we got to see a lighthouse, and it was way off in the distance, so I did have to zoom in on this picture. So the quality of it is not very well, but you can distinctly make out the lighthouse, right? I was super excited about this. I had to run and get my phone. We are going to see more lighthouses as we get closer to Boston, so that will be coming up. I did not include every lighthouse that I took a picture of because, well, that would take a little time because I did see quite a few, but I included some of them. And so, yeah, as we get closer into Boston, we're going to start to see a little bit more everything. And we'll also talk about some things as we get to Boston that are very interesting about the pier or the port in Boston. So all of that is coming up. All right, so we've kind of been back and forth to the balcony, back into the room, looking for things. And so I decided, you know, we're going to be getting closer and closer to Boston, and I'm going to want to be getting more and more, you know, pictures and whatnot. And I also have to get ready for dinner. So I decided to go ahead and get ready for dinner. We were having our formal evening. So this is what I chose to wear to our formal evening. You cannot tell it in the picture, but those are sequin pants that I have on. But I also wanted to show this picture because it shows the closet and the door to the bathroom. So the door directly behind me is the door that goes into the bathroom. And you can see the closet with our clothes hanging over there. One of the things that I like about Enchanted Princess and most princess ships is that they have a very, very nice closet space. It is open. You also see that there is another smaller door back by the clothes, back towards the back. That opens up and it is shelving. So you have shelving to put things like, you know, your jeans and folded things and, you know, your socks and all of your other things that don't have to be hung right there. Now there's also some drawers over in the nightstand and other parts of the room where you can put things as well. Now I did not record a room tour because I did that on our last Enchanted. So if you want to see that, you can go and check out the first Let's Cruise Enchanted Princess Edition, where we went down to the Caribbean. So go check that out, and I have the room tour for that there. And this was the exact same room. I don't remember if I told you guys that, but we are staying in the exact same room that we stayed on the last time because we had such a good experience and we liked the room, and it was available, so why not? So we're staying in the exact same room. So lots of closet space, a space underneath where you hang your clothes so that you can put your shoes and things like that. You had a shelf above where you hang your clothes up there. Now that's typically where the room steward would put the extra pillows. He would put those up there. We stored our suitcases under the bed, so that was plenty of space there as well. So as you can see over here, I got another picture of another lighthouse. I did have to zoom in again, but we were closer this time, so you can see more details on this. And it looks like there's a little teeny tiny lighthouse down beside it. So it looks like there's two right there. And I mean, they're just on this little rocky space. It's not like there's not a lot of like ground around them, which I thought was interesting. It's not like it's a big chunk, like a little island or something. I mean, it looks just like literally some rocks is all it looks like. And it's just out there in the middle of the water. Kind of cool. Anyway, we have more of that coming up, and some bigger islands coming up. And so we'll talk about all of that as we get closer. Okay, so we came upon this larger island right here. And it was actually quite well kept up down towards the bottom. And it actually looks like it has a concrete wall around it at the bottom. And you can see that there is a little lighthouse over there. And then off in the distance, you can see some buildings and stuff back there. So you can tell we're actually getting closer to some actual land as we're getting closer to Boston. In fact, we're getting much closer to Boston, and that's going to be coming up. But just wanted to show you this really cool island that we came across. We got to kind of watch. There are some little areas up different spots along the way. It's harder to see on the picture. It was easier to see in person. That there's like some little clearings where you could like go and sit and stuff. And so I was wondering if this was maybe some kind of like state park or something like that, that people could go out. Because like I said, we have the buildings back here in the background, and then it seems like there's a little pier that takes you over to this little island, and then you've got the lighthouse. So that would be fun to explore. That would make a good excursion to go and explore that. Well, as we continued to head towards Boston, there was another cruise ship that passed us that was leaving Boston. So this is a Royal Caribbean ship, and it is the Brilliance of the Seas. So it was passing us, and as you can see, there is this little tugboat right here in front of it. And then I got a closer picture as it got up beside us. This is a pilot boat. So typically it is, we'll bring a pilot out to a ship so that they can bring them into the port. And then when you're leaving also, you'll have a pilot on, and they'll come pick the pilot up. So I'm assuming that he picked the pilot up from that ship and brought him over to our ship. But I also saw the pilot boat earlier that I shared. So I didn't see that one actually come by us, so it just may have been out doing some training or something. It could be, but this one actually came up beside us. So I feel pretty certain that he dropped the pilot off with us as we are getting ready to get into Boston. And if you look over behind Brilliance of the Seas over there, you can start to see more land. So you know that we're getting closer. So let's get into Boston. Well, our ship started to turn, and so we were waiting to see what we were going to get to see once we started to turn. And as we turned, the skyline for Boston came into view. Another gorgeous skyline for another, bigger city in here in the U.S. So we got this picture, and you can see right in front of it this little grassy area, and there's a fort there. And we'll talk about that. I have a better picture of it coming up next, and we'll talk more about that. But this is what you see as you turn the corner, and you are welcome into Boston. All right, so this is Fort Warren. Pretty cool. Very nice looking, very well kept up. As you can see in this picture, there's several people in different little groups walking. I saw somebody who was running, so this obviously is used by the public as maybe like a park, but it's called Fort Warren, and this is actually called George's Island that it is on. And it was built between the 1830s and 1860s. So it's a Civil War era fortress. And I believe it said it was made of granite. So, I mean, it looks very well kept up. I don't know what the little pillar statue is right there. When I was looking things up, it didn't say anything about that. But we looked that up as we were coming in, because my husband is a history buff. And so I was just like, what is that? He's like, well, I'm not sure. So we looked it up. So that was really cool to be able to see as you come in. And as somebody who lived in Boston, I think that would be really awesome to have to go and walk or run and use. So very, very cool. So Fort Warren was one of the first things that we saw as we come into Boston. Well, as we were coming into Boston and we were out on the balcony and watching, we heard a knock on the door, and these were delivered to us. So as part of being a travel agent and doing trainings with Princess and selling Princess cruises, when I am on the ship, I have elite status. So that is one of the statuses you can get to with their loyalty program. And so there's some perks within there. And one of those perks is that you get different kind of hors d'oeuvres on formal nights. And since this was a formal night, we had a little paper to fill out of what we would like. And so this is what they brought. They were very good. So I shared them with everybody in our group. So we each got to try one. One had already been eaten before I took the picture. So they were good, and it's just a little perk. So once you reach elite status as a cruiser, this is also something that you would get. So something to look forward to. It allows us travel agents to try these things out so that we can tell you as a customer or a client what you would receive once you get the elite status. And they have a lot of different options to choose from. This is just what we chose on this night. We ended up not getting them on the second formal night. I don't remember if we didn't get our paper for it or if we just didn't like the choices that were on there. But we ended up not doing the second formal night. So just a little perk there. And then also, if you are a client of mine, sometimes I send little perks to you while you are on your cruise. So you just never know what you might get. So as we're coming in closer to the Boston port, we started noticing these planes. So obviously, airport has to be close by. And sure enough, these planes fly right over the cruise port, and then the airport is like right on the other side. And so that had me slightly worried that overnight, because we were staying overnight, that I was going to hear nothing but planes. But that wasn't the case. Inside the ship, I didn't hear the first one. I did hear them if we were out on the balcony, if one happened to be flying by, but I really didn't notice it at all. So that was pretty cool. So as we were coming in, we got to see a lot of planes. Well, we're finally here, and we are backing into our spot. We are in the aft of the ship, so we are backing in, and our goal is to get all the way back there to that pilot boat, and we're going to dock right there. It's supposed to be just for the night and then be at Boston tomorrow, but that will change as we see coming up. So this is the side of the cruise terminal where you would walk through to get to the street area. So if you were going on an excursion and your excursion had a van to pick you up or something, you would walk through this building and your bus or whatever would be parked outside. The taxis are also outside. My understanding, however, though, is if you want to Uber, you have to walk a little ways to get an Uber, that they don't allow the Ubers right at the cruise port here in Boston. So we ended up not trying that out because of the nor'easter. But this particular cruise port, my understanding is there are not any shops inside of this terminal. A lot of times when you are going through a terminal, there is going to be shops for you to shop at. So my understanding is there is not here. And as you find out tomorrow, because of the weather, we just didn't even attempt to get off the ship. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. But I wanted to give and show you a picture of the name for the cruise port and the terminal that it was at. Well, we are officially headed out for formal night. So we are down in front of the main dining room. And so I just snapped our picture real quick. You can see the champagne tower over here. They were actually working on that, pouring some champagne. So you get the opportunity if you would like. It's not something that you're required to do. The captain usually will start it out, and then they invite guests to come up, and you have somebody that's there helping, and then you get to pour champagne into the fountain there. And then you get your picture made and all of that. So that's something, if you're interested in doing, they do that every cruise. And so I snapped a picture of it real quick. We typically don't make it to that because it's usually during our dinner time. We usually do the first dinner seating, or we eat early. And a lot of things happen at that time, but that's the time that we like to eat. And when I talked earlier about perks as an elite member, and one of the things that you have is kind of like a happy hour. Well, it's typically like 4:30 to 5:30 or 5 to 6, and we usually eat around 6:20. So they have like a little buffet of snacks set up for you and some specialty drinks and things like that. And we went to it on our last one, but we didn't even go to it this time just because it's so close to our dinner time that if you ate anything there, then it took away from your meal because you were going to it. So we kind of ended up not going to that. We could have gone and gotten us a drink and listened to some music because they usually have music going. But we opted not to do that. So let's head to dinner. All right, first up for our formal dinner night is crab cakes. Because who can go wrong with the crab cake, right? So we have crab cakes and we have this fruit salad. And oddly enough, my dad ordered the fruit salad. Was very unexpected. But one of the things I love about going on a cruise, first off, you have so many options, but it allows you to go outside of your box. If that's what you choose to do, and you can try a lot of things that you would never otherwise try. Like if you were going to, a regular restaurant that you had to pay the bill at the end, you wouldn't try something. On a cruise, you can try something, and if you don't like it, they will take it away and they will bring you something else. So I highly recommend that if you are going on a cruise, to try some things that you normally would not. One of the things that I want to try is duck. I have not tried it yet, and I keep saying every time, I'm going to try duck, and then I get to dinner when we have duck and there's something else I want on the menu. So at some point I'm going to try duck. But anyway, that's one of the things that I highly recommend, is that you try foods you would not normally try. This is the time to do it. All right, so here are our main entrees that we had. A couple of us had the chicken breast. This is the first time I've gotten this. It is one of their signature dishes that they have every night. And it's chicken breast. There's a bit of a gravy there. There's mashed potatoes, carrots, and some cauliflower. It might be a little harder to tell the cauliflower. It kind of blends in with the mashed potatoes except for the yellow cauliflower. It was very good. I see why it's a signature dish. I would definitely have it again. So this is one of those dishes that I would hold off on and having unless there was something on the menu for that night that you just didn't want. Now we also had beef tenderloin, it looks like, with some veggies, and I do not remember what it looks like a muffin over there, but that's not what it was, and I forget what it was. But anyway, this is what we had for dinner. Between the four of us, we each had one of these. So food was excellent, very, very good. Kind of sad I didn't get that beef tenderloin because it looks really good. But that chicken did not disappoint. So, I mean, you can't go wrong. You will learn after you have cruised for a while that there are certain things on certain cruise lines menu that is something that you want all the time. And so, for example, French onion soup is usually one of the things that I get all the time. I did not get that tonight, but it's usually one of the things that we like to get quite often. But I will say now, having had that chicken breast, I will definitely have that again. It was really, really good. It was very tender. It was very moist. It wasn't dry. That's one of the things that you think about, I mean, they're cooking for a lot of people, right? And so you would think that the chicken would be dry. It is not in the least. So do not be afraid to eat at the main dining room, especially if you are, for example, we have the Premier package, which means we could do unlimited in specialty dining. And we do 3 nights of specialty dining because they have 3 specialty dining or restaurants. So we did one of each. The rest of the time we ate in the main dining room. If I didn't have the package, I wouldn't have a problem eating in the main dining room every night. So don't think that you have to go specialty. Is specialty dining good? Absolutely it is. If you have the Premier package, definitely take them up on that and do some of that. But do not be afraid of the main dining room because it is very, very good. All right, so we're wrapping up with desserts tonight. We had some kind of a turtle cheesecake. Looks like peaches with ice cream and creme brulee, which is one of my favorites. So good choices, good variety on the dessert menu as well. And again, try something that you haven't, I know we like to go with our favorites. I certainly do. Creme brulee is one of my go-to. If there's nothing else on there, I'm getting creme brulee. You can count on that. But don't be afraid to try something else. Oh, and if there's cheesecake, my dad is going to get cheesecake. So do not be afraid to try something. So one of the things that you're going to notice is there will be professional photographers throughout the ship, through your whole cruise, especially on formal nights, because they will set up these different backdrops. And so you can go to every one of the stations or where the backdrops were set up and have photos made. So as part of the Premier package, you have a little bit of a photo package included in that. And each person gets to pick 3 photos that are taken professionally, and they will print them and you get to take them home. So these are 2 examples of photos that they took. Now you also get all of them digitally. So I have them all digitally on my phone. And then I can, print them on my own as well. But you get 3, each of you get 3. So when you leave, you get 6 photos that are printed. Some are 8 by 10, some are a little smaller. But so you have, 6 photos from your cruise that are printed, that are included with your Premier package. So if you have the Premier package, please do not forget to do this, because it is a wonderful little added perk and a little something that you can take home. So make sure that you're stopping and you're doing the professional photos so that you have some to pick from. But so this one was a gold sequin background that they had set up. And so you can do group pictures, you can do couples, you can do individual pictures. We have done all of that on our cruises. And so that's just one of the examples. And I wanted to share that with you because a lot of people, they don't do the professional photos. Sometimes I think it's because they think they're going to be pushy and selling them. They are not. But especially if you have the Premier package, make sure that you do that so that you have some photos to pick from and have printed to take home with you. All right, we are wrapping up our night. We went around to different places and listened to some music tonight. Didn't take any video or any pictures or anything. We just kind of had a chill night. It's kind of just been a chill day. But I wanted to leave you with this gorgeous night photo from Boston. Very pretty with all the lights and everything. As you can tell, it's still wet, still rainy. But it's going to get rainier and windier. So stick around with us for tomorrow. It's our Boston actual port day tomorrow. So we're spending the night in Boston tonight and we'll be in Boston tomorrow. And we'll see what we can and can't do in Boston and what the day holds for us. Thank you for watching Let's Cruise Enchanted Princess Edition. Be sure to visit us at enjoytheviewtravel.com. Hit that like, share, and notification bell. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode.